before you start that YouTube channel, I do think there's a few things you need to know before you dive too deep into it, because this is not the first YouTube channel I started. As a matter of fact, I started two, maybe even three channels before this one. And I'm not saying it like this channel is extremely successful and you should follow the rules of how I'm doing YouTube, but more so you should understand some things about your YouTube channel that you're trying to build before you get too deep into it. For example, a lot of people don't understand why people pick certain niches, but there is a very clear formula to why certain people pick certain niches. But throughout this video, I'm probably going to say some things that you probably wasn't aware of, or maybe you heard it 1,000 times. But either way, let's get into it. First and foremost, where I feel like a lot of people just get YouTube so wrong, it's truly meant to be a side hustle. It's not really meant to be a business, or this is the thing that I do or the thing that I depend on. It's supposed to be another source of income besides your main source of income. And clearly I know nowadays that's not the case, because so many people proven that YouTube can be the main source of income. But if you're paying attention to the other percentile of the YouTube atmosphere, you would notice that a lot of people that relied on YouTube for many years are now in a extremely bad position because they solely relied on YouTube for income. And a lot of YouTubers will tell you that their income fluctuate. So it still isn't necessarily meant to be your main source of income or your business. So a lot of people get the idea of thinking that YouTube need to be more than a side hustle, but it could just be that. So a lot of people think they have to quit their job in order to pursue their YouTube dreams, but it doesn't have to be like that. You can still do your job while doing YouTube on the side is actually very manageable. That's actually what I do. And of course, I know that's not everyone's cup of tea, but it is something very manageable if you make the time to do so. You would actually be quite surprised of how much time you have outside of your job if you actually schedule it properly, but majority of people don't. Majority of people feel like they need more time than they truly need. So I've actually experienced some people who quit their day job and went all in with YouTube and realizing they don't really need that much time for their channel. So that's just something to think about for people who's on the fence of leaving their day job to pursue their YouTube channel full time. It could still be a side hustle. That's why whenever anyone's talking about side hustles, YouTube is most likely mentioned in that list. And the second thing that most people don't think about with YouTube is just how much money you can make with it. I know this is quite contradicting to the first point, but you can truly make a lot of money with YouTube. Me being at the size I'm at with this channel, you would be surprised of how much this channel generate. It's not a crazy amount, but it's a surprising amount to me, and I'm not even monetized, so you can only imagine how I feel about the income that I make with this channel. And it's through different things which I talk about in this video. I'm not going to go too in depth on how I make money with this channel, but clearly what I'm trying to say is YouTube is a definite good source of income and a excellent side hustle, especially if you make the time for it. And the majority of the money that I make through this channel is through videos I've already recorded a long time ago. So now at this point, they're just generating passive income. So I definitely think that YouTube has an untapped potential that a lot of people don't see it for what it is. A lot of people don't understand that you don't have to have the biggest channel, or you don't have to be the biggest YouTuber, or you don't only have to be a YouTuber. You could be multiple different things. Having a channel is just another source of income, and build things around that channel, or use the channel to build the other things, which we see that a lot within this community of YouTube. So I think that the amount of income that you can truly generate from YouTube is quite incredible. And I think not a lot of people understand that it doesn't have to be the highest level of income through YouTube, but it could literally be the lowest level and it's still somewhat decent. So the third point that I want to talk about that most people don't think about when they're starting their YouTube channel is their niche. And the niche to your channel is extremely important because your niche determines how much your channel can generate. And you're probably wondering, why is that the case? Well, everybody, when you start a channel, you get rated by your content and the kind of content you make. For example, my channel is a personal finance channel. And for anybody familiar, personal finance channels have a high CPM or RPM. So basically meaning advertisers will put a lot of money behind my channel because it represents something that generates a lot of revenue. But if you have somebody that makes pranks or something like that, they don't generate as much revenue as a personal finance channel, because not many people want to promote behind that kind of content, because it could represent something not so good, or basically they can do something wrong that can make the brand look bad. So basically, when you have a certain niche, you do get paid more on YouTube. And a lot of people don't understand this. That's why I actually picked this niche of personal finance, because I don't have to get 1 million views in order to get paid a decent amount. As a matter of fact, because I don't really want to be famous, I just want to get enough eyeballs to make enough money to be able to put myself in a position where it's fairly good. And I want to make majority of my revenue through my businesses and not through my YouTube channel. So I have a clear plan. So personal finance fit perfectly for me, because I actually do the things I talk about in order to run my businesses. So it just makes sense all around for me. But for anybody else that's starting YouTube, you need to understand that your niche is extremely important. And when you don't have one, it's hard to determine what you are going to make, because your income will fluctuate. So make sure you understand your channel's niche before you start your channel, and make sure you have it to where you can actually make the content consistently. Like, don't start a personal finance channel because you feel like you would make the most money doing that. Start it because you truly believe that you can talk enough about it to where people get value from it, to eventually where you will actually see a return on that. So if you do everything the proper way, I would say on YouTube, even if you do a prank channel, eventually you can make money at other places through sponsors and like getting big brand deals and stuff like that. Maybe not so much through your AdSense, but that's some of the things that you have to think about when you're starting your channel. But a lot of people don't understand that your niche is actually extremely important. Okay, so I thought this one might be a little bit interesting, because I don't hear a lot of people talk about this one, but you're going to want to learn and understand SEO, search engine optimization. Basically, you have to understand that YouTube is a search engine. So basically, in other words, they are looking for something. So when you make titles about certain things, you can't title it your name and I had a fun day. You have to say something that somebody would search for, or somebody is looking for, or somebody want to learn about. And that is how you get discovered the most. And no, I don't always utilize what I'm talking about, because like I said in the last point, I'm not really trying to get the most views. I actually want to build a brand. I actually want to build something that goes longevity. I'm looking at it for the long run. Some people look at it like, oh, I just want to make a lot of money today. I understand what I'm trying to do. This is going to be a long game for me. So I may not always practice what I preach, but that is extremely important if you're trying to be a air quotes successful YouTuber. Like I said, my end goal is not to be a successful YouTuber, but a successful business owner. You got to know what you want. But if you're trying to be successful on a search engine platform, you got to be able to be very searchable. So you got to understand SEO, which is search engine optimization. You got to be very well rounded for whenever you're making your titles, your thumbnails, or even putting in keywords. A lot of people say it's not important. Maybe it's not, but you still want to give yourself the best opportunity possible. And this one kind of goes without saying, but I figured I'll put this in the video because I feel that some people sometimes overlook this point, but you have to be able to adapt and evolve. So you can't just get so comfortable with the kind of content you make. Even if you are seeing success, you want to dabble in different things. In this platform, what I realized while I'm trying to grow is that you have to be willing to adapt and evolve. You have to be able to make your content more digestible. You have to be able to speak better. You have to be able to get the audience to understand who you are as a person. So I really think YouTube will really work out for anybody that's willing to adapt and evolve and change their style up whenever it's time to change it. But I see so many people fail or fall off because they keep trying to do the same thing over and over and over again. So that's some of the points that I have for anybody that's about to start a channel or interested in being a big YouTuber. These are some of the things that I wish I'd known when I started those 3 channels before. But now that I know these things, I'm understanding of them. Some of the things I will not follow because I'm not necessarily trying to be a huge YouTuber. I just want enough eyeballs to be able to maneuver to certain places and show off new products or new businesses that I start. Like in other videos, I talk about the book that I've been writing, which is The Monster Locked Inside, which will be coming out I'm going to try to make it soon. We're still in the process of making it, which I'm very interested in, just stuff of that nature. So whenever you have something, you do need an audience. And that's kind of why I started a YouTube channel. So just know what you're starting your channel for and what you're trying to get out of it. And I think that you have a good outcome. But with that being said, I'll see you on the next one.